Welcome to the 10 Acre Woods. My name's Mark, and it is springtime officially, and well, the snow's going. And it is going into water, so we're gonna have to navigate around these ponds, these streams. This is the low area of the ground here that runs down into this area. We had quite a bit of water when we first moved out here, and that's why we installed the pond over back there that fills up and flows out to the ditch. So today we're going to be letting the new ponies out that we got in, what was it, last week? Yeah. Never know, with all this isolation and everything going on, I don't know what day of the week it is. I've been off working from home for the last 2 weeks, week and a half. So it's kind of tough to know what day it is. But yes, we had 2 ponies that came in. I think we're putting the ducks out too as well, right? Because the pond is starting to melt. So we want to get the ducks out. Yeah, this is our septic field here. And we've got our hay bales or straw bales on top of there to work as insulation.
Little mouse trails.
Oh yeah? Hey guys, enjoying the nice sunny weather? Out into the sunshine. There you go. See how they interact with everybody. Of course, the sheep got to check them out.
I figured Daisy would like them.
Daisy's got to check things out. Says, "Oh, you're a boy." He is fixed, so there's no concern there.
Good girl. This is a good sign. That means they like each other. That's good. Wait for Levi to find out.
Yeah. I think Levi's out back. So this is good. Is he back there? Oh, yeah.
There. Right by the sparkler.
Yeah. He's
Okay, so I think we actually...
he's looking over.
We have a little family here.
We have a little family.
Now, these guys are used to big horses.
And they have been in with sheep and goats, pigs, so they are used to other animals.
Boy. Hey? Oh boy, no wet.
Everybody watching here from the sidelines. So that's Ollie, that's the male there in the center. And then of course we have little Dreamer, the white one.
She's gonna be a pie.
And then Daisy.
So big.
Levi's coming over. Check things out. Not sure where Meadow's back over on the other side of the pond there. So, Levi, look, we have some new friends for you. They're all about smells. Hi, Petey. What are you doing? Are you happy? Nice weather. You don't have to hibernate anymore. And then you three, our 3 stooges here, we have blocked them off in this area here because if you were following last year, Paula, which is this one right here, decided she would go and wander. So we found we found during a feeding 2 nights ago that she had electric fence wire wrapped around her leg because she went through the electric fence basically just over in that area there. So this area we had finished a few years ago, and we put up the nylon braided electric fence wire, which I particularly don't care for, just because it can have breaks in it, and I like the continuous gauge electric fence wire. So we have locked them into this area, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because Roxy, which is right there, she has a little bit of company in here now. So we've opened up this whole area for them so they can go outside, but they have been put in isolation, I guess you can say. And yes, Shanzi, you have to suffer what your sister has done. Hey, you got some hay on you. Can I just take the hay off your face? No? I know what you guys want. Haha. See, whenever we come out to feed morning and evening, these two get a special treat. So they're waiting by the door for their meal. Are they coming back? The ponies are coming back now. They're way back there. Oh, there they are, back over there.
She's gonna be leading there.
Yeah. Meadow's the lead.
They left Daisy behind.
Just went out on a walkabout.
So now, if you also notice its age, right?
Yeah, so Ollie is about 10 years old, so him and Dreamer are the two older ones at 10. Of course, Meadow is almost a year old. She was born last spring. And Levi is, well, now I guess he's about 4 or 5 years old. And then we have, that's Dreamer that was in the, that was leading. Okay. And then Meadow's back here. And Daisy following up the back. So she had feet issues, which we have been working with her. So she is doing much better. It would have been unheard of to see her go to the back of the property in the past. Whoop, Hannibal! All right. Come on, Annie.
Meat, 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 meat.
Yeah.
Meat, 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 meat.
You're out.
Atlas in the window. Atlas got smushed against the window.
Oh, did he? Hey, buddy. Somebody asked what kind of chicken you are. You are a Sarama, the smallest breed from Malaysia. Here we go. Time for some food.
So now, Tiana, I have to clean that pen out and get that ready. Get it ready to bring the goats in.
How's everybody doing back here? Everybody seems to be doing fine. We're going to be getting them outside once things dry up a little bit. Once we move some animals around. We started by getting those ponies out. We're also letting the ducks and geese out. And then we're going to bring Coco and Petunia and Blackie inside as they are due in April. And then we'll get these guys outside, but with all the commotion and everything with the ponies, we want to make sure that they're in a good area, preferably in the area where Roxy is. And so lots of juggling around of all these little guys. There is water that's running off of the roof here and coming down, and they're just kind of playing in the water there. And it's amazing on how white they have become, even in these dirty water conditions. Ducks can get pretty dirty over the winter, and without water they can't clean off their feathers. So they might look a little bit dirty right now, but they're much whiter than they were only a few weeks ago. Alright, so I'm coming over to the area where Paula the alpaca got out. We're going to have to clean that up. We've got a wire, and this is what I mean by the braided wire. I'm not going to touch it and pick it up. It's likely not live, but I've said that before. Even this top one is a white braided wire as well. So I don't like this stuff because, well, it was used for one, so you can see how it's been tied and retied, and of course you want to make sure that the metal is in contact, that braided wire that is intertwined with the plastic. You want to make sure that that is connected, or it's not going to get continuity across the system. So we'll have to shut that down and change this section of wire with the solid gauge wire. And here we go. Here's some of the evidence, some Paula hair. So what the plan is with this area, if we've got, I believe we have some electric gauge, solid gauge wire. But what we want to do is, we've got about 3840 posts. So we want to start from this section here and come across and then do something with this. Tara mentioned putting in another culvert here, which we have one right there. But I think if we just kind of bring wire down through the trough here and then continue it on and go solid across up to probably about that point where the solid wire or the old fence continues on. So this was kind of a throw together temporary section, which, you know, is why we used the used wire. This here is where Petey and Piper spend most of their day foraging. This is the pile of hay and straw that we had removed from the building probably about a month ago when it had warmed up the first time. So they come back here looking for little bits of grain and just little morsels of food. It keeps them happy. You can see they got their tails just a wagging, and they're always back here. And it's, of course, it's nice and warm too, because when the sun's out, it heats up that material. And this will eventually turn into compost. So last year we had put the compost along this area in here, and it's kind of broken down. It takes a couple years to break down. You get all the manure in there and the carbon material, the hay and the straw, and that breaks down and makes a nice compost. Somebody had asked us, what do we do with all the poop? Well, what we do is we rake it into compost piles, and then we use it as you know, ground cover. to build up certain areas, and the alpaca poop is actually good for gardens. So we put that directly on the garden. It doesn't burn. You can use it right away. There's another pile. I believe this one right here was from about 3-4 years ago. So that's another compost pile. Well, it's been about half an hour now, and everybody seems to have gotten acquainted. The big key is having a lot of space. Oh, there, Ollie's going to lie down, so that means he's pretty comfortable in his surroundings, so that's good. But the important thing is that they have the space that they can actually get away. Some people have asked, I've put goats in, I've put sheep, ponies, different animals, and they just aren't getting along. What do I do? Making sure that they have enough room that they can get away if they need to. And here on the 10 acres, we have 9.91 acres, and the animals have about 8 acres of that 10 acres. So they've got lots of space. They can walk all the way back and around the house over that side and all the way back here. So there's plenty of room for them to get away and to have some alone time if they so choose. So we just spent the last 45 minutes to an hour shoring up the electric fence to make it a little bit more alpaca friendly. So we may try to put Paula back out and see how she manages with it. She just wasn't getting zapped. So here is the wire here. This one here is abraded, but this is more for looks. It's not actually on. This is the wire. It's a high tensile, I believe it's 12 gauge wire. So we've got 3 of them down here. These temporary posts don't really go that high. So that's our only concern, because the alpaca's head is up here. But when they go through bush, they usually put their head down to go through things. So we should be all right there. This section of fence we do want to change out and actually put in proper poles and a stucco wire and 2x4s. So that's what it looks like now. We've got it going all the way over to the rabbit hutch over there, and all 3 wires going back and down. Yeah, she's going for that stuff over there. She sees green. Wow, it is warm out here, especially wearing a black jacket and tromping through the woods, hauling wire around. Plus that sun, it's gorgeous. So I'm up at the controller, the fence controller. We've got 2 chargers here. So one that charges the fence system in the back area, and one that charges the fence system in the front area. Now I have recently changed the system. The other one that I had wasn't very good. Now with these fence chargers, this one here, we've got, it's rated at I think 6 joules, 7,000 volts under load. And 10,000 volts just no load. Now it just plugs in. I've got this all wired up here. There it is. Okay, and then here we should be able to see, yeah, you can see that flashing light. Fence is okay. So that's good. There's also a, I don't have it in here, usually it's hanging up on that screw there. It's probably out in the shop. This box I built years and years ago. Yeah, it's on. That's a good sign, no arcing if she doesn't know that it's on. Touch it. I've done that before. Yeah, so this, we want to make sure, we found that cows, we had some cows years ago, and cows are a little tough to shock. It was just a calf. And this calf just pushed right through the fence. This is when we first got our electric fence going, and we were kind of unsure as to what type of electric fence. So this one here is rated, it's a high power one. It's rated for predators, it's rated for cows, goats, sheep, everything. I think alpacas too, hopefully. The problem with alpacas is just because they're so furry and woolly, you want to make sure that they get caught on their face, which doesn't have any wool on it. And usually, as I was mentioning before over there, was that, you know, they'll kind of lead with their face and kind of duck into areas where there is brush and such. So getting snapped by that She only needs to get hit once and she'll realize that, oh, well, maybe this isn't such a good idea. So we'll see what happens with that. So it's been a couple hours now. I came inside to get a bite to eat, and while I was inside, heard Tara yelling outside. It turned out that Ollie, the new pony that came in a week ago, was on the other side of the fence. So we're like, what is going on here? What's happening? We just spent all this time redoing the fence. And so Tara went and grabbed the wire, and there was nothing on the wire. Now, we've been unplugging it and working on it and plugging it back in, but we haven't really been testing it. Now, we do have a little unit that flashes when voltage drops, and it's just over, it's about 30 feet from the electric fence controller, the charge controller. But what we should have probably done is had it further back on the other side, because the power goes from the controller and it runs around the property, and over there on the other side of the pond is the last area it hits. So we headed out with the controller. So this is the controller that will measure from 1,000 to 5,000 volts. You stick this probe end into the ground and you hang this on the wire. And you'll see the pulses, and they should all light up to the 5,000 volts, which is our loaded voltage. And we were getting nothing. So what do? We walk around the property, and we find out it was just over on this side where we have a gate. And we've got an insulated wire that goes underneath the gate and comes up and attaches. That had disconnected. So the question we're asking ourselves now is, when did that happen? Of course, you know, we're testing the voltage here regularly with our light that's flashing, or shouldn't be flashing when it's good. So it could have very well been out last year or last fall when Paula got out. So we're starting to put these things together. And it's starting to make a little bit more sense. So I think what we need to do is we need to move our testing device to the other side of the pond so that when it goes down anywhere in the line, we know. So there it is, problem solved. So Ollie's back in, Tara went and walked him back in, and that's when she found out that there was no power on it. So problem solved, we hope. So I think tomorrow what we'll do is we may let the alpaca out. We were discussing that, monitor them and see what happens. So that is it. So it was quite an eventful day. It was a beautiful day. It's nice to put that cold weather behind us. And it's nice to get outside and start doing some things. Although tromping through a foot of wet, slushy snow with water underneath it is not the best thing. But we're inside now, relaxing for this afternoon, and that's it for this video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions or comments, like I said, I will be doing a video come this late summer, spring, on the installation of the fence chargers and going over all that stuff. Take care, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.